Hey guys, welcome to episode 7 of Use Your Wings. This is the follow-up episode to the Miami Muscle Beach Pro, and I promised you guys that I would send you an update on how the show went and what my plans are now. It's been a little while since we posted that last episode, and reason being, things have been so busy. The week after Miami, I moved cities, so I moved from Santa Monica down to Huntington Beach in Orange County. It was a big mission. I literally got home from Miami. I spent days just packing up all of my stuff, packing my entire apartment, and moving down here. So it was a lot of organizing, obviously a lot of work, which I obviously had to wait until after my show to get that move out of the way. But it's been very busy settling in. I shared with you guys in the last episode that I have joined forces with Jeremy Buendia as a business partner in a coaching team HERAxHERO. So that is why I've moved down to Orange County. That is where we are based, in a gym in Costa Mesa. So it's been really busy with obviously moving, and also getting into the new routine that I have, because I am no longer just coaching clients online, but I'm actually in the gym once to twice a day with my athletes in the team. So it's been a lot of change in my own routine. Of course, I've been working 100% online with all of my clients since 2016. So before that I was personal training in the gym, but since 2016, because I was traveling so much, I was only working online and I was no longer actually training clients in the gym. So it's been a bit of a, getting used to that routine again. And of course I've had to change my own routine, my own training routine, to make it all work and make it all fit, and it's been very busy. I still am coaching all of my clients online, so whether I'm at the gym with the HERAxHERO athletes, or in the gym myself, or at home on my computer, it's been all go. It's been a lot of adjusting to a new routine, but I'm absolutely loving it here. In the next episode, I'm going to take you guys on a bit of an apartment tour, show you guys my new place, my new hood, all that stuff. So I'm loving it here. It reminds me of a little beach town in New Zealand that I lived in called Mount Maunganui. So look it up if you're not from New Zealand. If you are from New Zealand, you know there's a little slice of paradise. So yeah, Huntington Beach reminds me a lot of that, it's pretty cool, and I think it's going to be really awesome being here for summer. So I'm excited. Everything has been going really well. It's been busy, and of course after Miami I was hoping for a win. Of course I was hoping for a win in all my shows, but a third place in Miami finished me up in 12th on the points table for the Olympia. So how the new system works, you don't qualify when you win anymore. As of this year, you have to collect points, and they take the top 20 off the table. So after Miami I was in 12th, and I thought to myself, okay, there's still like 15 shows left. There are so many shows left, for girls to get points in. I'm not going to be safe. I'm going to have to do more shows. I'm not going to stay in the top 20 if I call it quits here and just, don't get any more points this season or until the cutoff date. So after Miami, I thought, okay, I'm going to have to do another show. I obviously had that move coming up, so I had to move house. Miami was my third show in a row. So I did, Pittsburgh and then New York and then Miami. They were all 2 weeks apart. So, it was essentially back-to-back shows, which is very taxing on your body. For me, one of my biggest issues is drying out, getting the water out from under my skin. If I'm stressed, or if I go too hard for too long, that's when I really struggle to get that water out. So I knew after Miami that my body wasn't going to like me very much doing 3 in a row like that, and it's kind of like the more I've got on in my career, like back in my first year as a pro, I did 3 shows back to back 1 week apart, and I think I look better every time. But the more you do, it's like you're pushing your body, and you're pushing it and you're pushing it, and you know, sometimes your body's just gonna be like, yo, I'm out. So you've got to be careful with that. I know I have to be careful with that because that is the one thing that I often struggle with, is getting that water out. So I have had a lot of water rebound after that show from, you know, cooling it, taking it easy for a bit. Of course, my training wasn't as intense because I was prioritized on packing my house and moving, so it was kind of good timing. It kind of forced me to take a little break, to be honest. So I said I was going to share with you which show I'm going to do next, and my plan is still to do that show that I was planning to do, but it's interesting. You know, I've been keeping an eye on the points table to see, you know, if I'm slipping down, and as of just a couple of days ago, and there's been about 6 shows I think since Miami, I'm still 12th. So it's like the girls that have gone out and got points in the shows that have already been, they either still don't have enough points to overtake me, or they're already above me, so they're just still collecting points. You know, there are some athletes out there who are winning show after show after show, and so of course they're already above me on the table, so they're not going to knock me off. The ones that are going to knock me off, obviously, are the ones who are below me on the table, and they're, you know, get points to overtake me. So I was actually surprised by that. I thought that I would have slipped from 12th, you know, at least a little bit in that time, but I have not. So I am apparently still 12th. That is as of June 28th. It's the 28th today. It's taken me a while to get around to filming this little update for you guys, but we are hopefully going to have this video with you really soon. So my plan, and still my plan, is to compete at the Tampa Pro, which is, I believe, the final show where you can qualify with points. So it's the last show before the cutoff for the Olympia. So, you know, there's been a lot of shows I could have done. I knew after Miami that I needed a break. I knew that there was no way I could keep pushing my body to do more shows right then. Firstly, because I had to move house and that was all locked in, and I knew that that was going to upset my routine a bit. But secondly, I knew that 3 shows in a row was starting to push it, and my body would start rebelling if I kept pushing. And I've been there before, so I know when I start to see signs that it's time to just call it for a little bit. So what I've been doing is, I mean, essentially trying to just maintain where I'm at in terms of, you know, body fat. As I said, I've had a lot of fluctuation in water weight. I always do. You know, I've shared this before a number of times, but it's not uncommon for me to drop 10 pounds of water in my last couple of weeks, for example. So I mean, my stage weight in Miami was, my lightest depleted weight was 118 or 117.8. So pretty much 118 pounds was my lightest depleted weight before that show. And I've kind of gone from up to 128, and then one day I was 130, and then I'm back to 126, and then back to 130, and then 128. And that's how my body rolls with water. So I'm not stressed about it. You know, it's hard when the scales are messing with you. I weigh myself, you know, every few days just to see where it's at, but I can see the difference. You know, the day that I woke up 126, I had, you know, my ab lines all back through, whereas when I wake up 130, it's like my stomach's very smooth, and I can tell it's the water. When I'm training, I still have, you know, striations on my shoulders and veins all up my arms. So yeah, it's a mind game when you are in that spot holding water. But the thing is, I know that I haven't gained a lot of fat. I know it's mostly water, which means that, you know, it's not something to stress about. It's more about de-stressing and giving my body just that chance to be like, okay, let's stop being a whale now. So I've switched it up from doing, you know, obviously I've cut my cardio way back, but what I've actually been doing is I've actually been doing my workout and then 20 minutes of HIIT. So of HIIT intervals, either on the Stairmaster or the treadmill. I haven't used the treadmill a lot in the past, and a lot of people ask me, why don't I use a treadmill? And the reason being, when I was a teenager, I was doing a lot of ballet, like every single night after school. I was dancing, and in the weekends sometimes, and I had shin splints 6 times when I was a teenager. So whenever I run or do anything that's too high impact, it really hammers my shins. So I started adding in some treadmill sprints for my hits. I literally did 2 days of that in a row, and I could barely walk the next day. My shins were so sore, my calves were so tight. So I stretched, I massaged, I foam rolled, and then I've been, you know, doing it at least every other day. I've been doing sprints, or I would do kind of like half of my cardio on the stairs and half my cardio on the treadmill, so that I'm mixing it up a bit. There's no use in going on the treadmill and, you know, pushing through having shins so I can barely walk. That's not gonna help me achieve anything. So I've dropped obviously a lot of cardio. Before Miami, I was doing up to 2 hours of steady cardio a day. It was hard, and I think, you know, when I'm doing steady cardio on the Stairmaster, I'm doing level 12 to 14, and I pour with sweat. So, you know, I was sweating out a lot more, and possibly that could be a bit to do with why I'm holding a bit more water now, as I'm not doing as much cardio as I was doing, and I'm not like sweating out like I was. Also, you know, I was very low sodium before my shows. I've been adding in quite a lot more sodium, so that's going to make you hold water as well until your body adjusts. So, you know, getting to that homeostasis after a show can be challenging mentally and for your body, of course, but it's, you know, it's a lot of it is patience, you know, and not just allowing your body that time really to reset and adjust. So I've been doing a lot less cardio. I haven't actually been doing fasted cardio most of the time. I'm so busy now with having to be at training with my athletes at the gym. I've been getting up, eating, going to the gym, training, doing my cardio, and then coming back and getting as much work done on my computer as I can before I have to go into team training. So that's, you know, a bit of a change to my routine. I was doing fasted cardio for a long time. People often ask me about fasted cardio, you know, is it more beneficial? And scientifically, it's not proven to be more beneficial for fat loss. And I do say that to a lot of people, you know, and clients often ask me as well. And the reason that I get clients doing fasted cardio, and that's the same reason why I would do fasted cardio, is when the cardio becomes such a long duration of time that you're going to lose intensity if you're doing all in one session. So say, for example, I had a client doing, we started at 20 minutes post-workout, then 30, then 40. If I still wanted to put cardio up from there, I would probably be like, okay, if we want to do like 50 minutes of cardio, it's probably better to do 30 minutes in the morning fasted and then 20 post-workout, so that both of those sessions are maintaining that higher intensity. Because obviously if you get in there in the morning and you smash out 30 minutes and then after your workout you smash out 20 minutes, you're going to be able to maintain a greater intensity for that period of time than if you did 50 minutes all at once. So that is the main reason why I would do fasted cardio and why I would get my clients doing it. It's, you know, particularly if you struggle to hold on to muscle when you're getting leaner, it can be, you know, that doing a long duration of cardio is going to inhibit your ability to hold on to that muscle, and so doing shorter bursts of cardio can be more productive. And the other thing as well is, you know, sometimes people don't have time to be in the gym for a long session, and it's easier for them to do, you know, get to the gym like before work in the morning, smash out fasted cardio, and then after work they train. Which, you know, when I'm programming for clients, it's always about what is actually practical for them and for their lifestyle, you know, and what's going to work the most efficiently on prep, so that they're not having to do a lot of volume unnecessarily. So splitting cardio into 2 sessions like that can really help, because you can maintain a greater intensity in both of those sessions. So that is my new routine. It's all been really busy. So my plan is still to do Tampa. Today is July. All right, I keep saying July. I mean, it's almost July. That's ridiculous. Today is June 28th, and it is 5 weeks this coming weekend until Tampa. So my plan is still to do Tampa. as I said, you know, most of my weight increase, although, you know, like around 10 pounds sounds like a lot for a lot of people, it's kind of not for me, because 118, where I have to get to on stage, is so abnormal for me, for my body. You know, my body naturally would be 140 or 135, and that's still doing cardio and still following, you know, a diet. So, you know, yeah, I always do hold a lot of water, and I know that I'm not carrying a lot of extra body fat. It is primarily water weight, which means that, you know, I'm just trying to cruise a little bit and give my body that chance to adjust and reset. And I'll keep an eye on the points table. I mean, I still haven't decided whether, you know, let's say, for example, we get to 3 or 2 weeks out from Tampa and I'm still 12th. Well, then I may not need to do it, and that may be silly to do it, because it may mean that I struggle to then bring my best at the Olympia. You know, the Olympia is 5 weeks after Tampa, so it's like, if I do Tampa, that gives me a chance to, like, have a little bit of a, you know, a week of a little low-key and then go hard again. But, you know, the more shows I do without a decent break, the harder it is for me, personally, to bring my best. And I discovered that at the Olympia last year. Last year, the Olympia was my 10th show in 12 months, and I just couldn't get that last little bit of water out from under my skin. I just had this film. My body was stressed. It wasn't because of anything that I did differently, because I didn't do anything differently. It was really just my body saying, like, "Oh, girl, like, chill, take a break." So, yeah, you know, when I first said to you guys that I was going to announce my next show, I was almost certain that I was going to be slipping off that table and I was going to have to compete again to keep my spot. But yeah, I mean, it's all a mystery, because I don't want to compete unnecessarily if it's going to make it harder for me to bring my best at the Olympia. If on 14 points I can stay in the top, say, 15 right towards the end, then maybe it would be silly to do Tampa. I will keep you guys updated. You know, I will, particularly in these videos, I will keep you updated from, you know, week to week on, you know, what things are happening, what's happening on the points table, what's happening for me and my body. I don't want to, bearing in mind that my body has kind of had this rebound post Miami in water weight, and it's been quite stubborn in that water weight, I don't want to unnecessarily push myself to do another show if I don't have to. So it's going to be very much, you know, taking it from week to week at the moment. I'm going to want to keep, you know, maintain around this body fat anyway, and I know that it's going to be primarily water that's going to fluctuate. On this episode, you'll see the bikini seminar that Jeremy and I held towards the beginning of June, which was essentially when we launched our female team. So that is there. Hopefully there's some content in there that you guys will learn from. You will also see some of kind of behind the scenes at our Team HERAxHERO team training. So we have team training twice Sundays, once on other days throughout the week, at a number of different times, so that all of our athletes, you know, have a chance to make it along. Some people come every day, some only come a few times. And of course, we've got clients all over the world who can't come to team training at all in California, although we did have one athlete actually come over from the UK and visit us for a week of training, which was pretty awesome. You know, it's really cool to see the team growing, you know, on such a big level. And of course, I bring to this team with me a lot of bikini athletes who were my existing clients, a lot of them in New Zealand, a bunch around America, some in Canada, Australia. So, you know, it's really cool to be joining forces with Jeremy and working on this team. We will continue to make, well, I will continue to make content and show you guys what's happening there with the team, as well as with my journey, which is kind of all over the place at the moment. So yeah, next episode you will see our charity workout that we are doing for HERAxHERO. We are doing a workout this Saturday night, and we are raising donations for charity. So we're collecting non-perishable food items. Workout is open to anyone, which is really cool. We always do these open workouts once a month so people can come along and check out what our team is all about, how it works, the vibe and the atmosphere up in there. So we're doing a little different this weekend, doing it on Saturday night. We're going to have a bit of a party and we are going to raise donations for charity. So that's a really cool way to, you know, do something different and give back. So Jeremy's been doing a lot of that sort of thing, you know, giving to charity. He's done a lot of work in the Philippines with, you know, giving children that are super less fortunate than us some highlights to their life while he was in the Philippines. And it's really cool that he is doing a lot of that, and now the team is able to, you know, contribute to that as well. So that is coming up. I'm going to show you around my hood and my apartment and all of that stuff in the next episode as well. So a bit more of a behind the scenes of Sheena's life right now, my routine, what's going on, where I live now. All of that is quite a change from living in the hustle and bustle of Santa Monica, and it is quite different not training at Golds all the time, and I kind of miss it, but then again I kind of don't. You know, I'm loving it here, and just, you know, I'm in my own lane. I'm not really worried about what other people are doing. I've got awesome people around me, or the most important people around me, and yeah, it's good. I'm loving it here. I hope that this content you find super educational, our content from the seminar. I hope you guys really learned something from it. If you have questions, queries, comments, feedback on my videos, my content, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, what you want more of, send me a message, send me a comment on here, email me, reach out to me on Instagram, whatever it is. I create this content for you guys, and now that I am back settled in my routine, I want to make more content, obviously get back into the rhythm of filming for every week for you guys. So if there are things you want included, please tell me, because I'm not a mind reader, so you gotta share with me what you want to know, what you want to see. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm getting my tongue all tied up, but this is episode 7 of Use Your Wings. This is a little introduction to Team HERAxHERO and my little life in Orange County.
Officially, this is our official launch of our bikini team. I'm Jared Buendia, 4-time Olympia champ. This is Sheena Martin. She is a 2-time Olympian IFBB pro, former New York pro champion, and one of the most fierce competitors in the bikini division of Pro League right now to this day. We will both be going into prep for Olympia. I already started. Unfortunately, I got sick this week. I know she's got one more show she's doing before she heads to Olympia. But basically, we wanted to create a team to help athletes learn how to progress through the industry. You know, both of us have made this a career for ourselves. As myself, I started from a very young age. I started competing when I was 17 years old, and I had a vision, a passion to turn fitness into a career for myself. And I've been able to do that very well, a very good job of doing that, but it's taken a lot of learning and how to navigate my way through the industry. I'm not quite sure of how many of you are doing this as a hobby or something you're trying to create into a career for yourselves. Whether you're doing either or, it's very important to understand how to navigate your way through this new era of the fitness industry that we're in. So I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to let Sheena go ahead and branch off and explain a little bit more about how you're going to progress through the fitness industry, going from the National Physique Committee, working your way up to the national level, and getting into the IFBB Pro League, which is the most prestigious organization in the world right now. So in order to get to the Mr. Olympia stage, the only way to get there is through the National Physique Committee, which is the amateur level, and it's a feeder into the IFBB Pro League, which is the only pro league that gets you to the Mr. Olympia competition. So there has been a lot of changes in our organization in the past year, and that is why it's very important to understand, you know, how to navigate your way through, because there are a lot of other organizations that are very misleading in their ways of getting to the Olympia stage. So this team is dedicated to the National Physique Committee in the amateur level and the IFBB Pro League. So that's the only athletes we work with, and we're trying to get our athletes to that highest level possible.
Alright, so I will introduce myself a little bit. I'm from New Zealand. I have an accent. If you can't understand me, ask me to slow down or repeat something or use a different word. But I started out actually as a lawyer. I wasn't in fitness at all. I grew up dancing, so I used to teach group fitness classes and do dancing and cheerleading and all of this on the side of working as a lawyer. I hated my job. I wanted to find a way to build a career in the fitness industry. So I didn't start competing when I was super young, like Jeremy. I did my first show, I think, when I was 24, and I had no idea what I was doing, what I was getting myself into. If you see my posing photos from my first show, oh man, really bad. But what I have found is, my journey getting to here, I had to figure all that out for myself, and it was really hard. And I would go and do shows, and then I would realize that it really wasn't a good show to do. And I made a lot of very scenic routes to where I've got to right now. And as a coach, I want you guys to not have to go through all of that. So I started coaching in 2014, and I started working with ladies so that they never had to do all the stuff that was really hard for me to get to where I've got to. So yeah, I started out as a lawyer, I quit my job, I moved into coaching, into personal training, and I have now obviously moved to America, still chasing this dream, competing, and I've obviously been coaching my own team since 2014, and we are joining forces so that we can create the biggest and best team in the world.
So we've been around we started Team Hero. I started Team Hero in December of last year with the whole intention of just trying to share my passion for the sport. The sport's given me a lot in life, and I'm very grateful for the position. I'm very blessed, and I wanted to be able to share my passion with you guys and show you guys that there's a lot of opportunity in fitness. Whether you're competing, whether you're off stage, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of opportunity for growth and a lot of opportunity for success. And that's why we're here as coaches. It's not just to put you guys on stage, but it's to help further your knowledge about how to become more well-rounded in the fitness industry. Like I said, we're in a lot different era of fitness nowadays. We're in the era of social media. So I'm going to branch off a little bit and talk about, proper ways of how to navigate your way through of building your own brand, getting your name out there. There are so many competitors in the NPC now, whether it's men's physique and bikini, with the creation of these divisions over the last 6-7 years. The numbers in the shows have skyrocketed. When I first started competing, there were maybe 60, 70, 80 athletes on stage. Now you're going to these regional shows on a weekly basis. You're getting 300, 400 competitors on stage. Bikini and physique are the largest divisions in the world right now. So it's very easy to get lost in the mix. Very easy. When you're competing against so many great physiques, and they keep progressing year after year, the amateur level is getting better and better and better. I went to a Sacramento show last week, and I swear to God, it was like a national level show. There were a handful of competitors competing as amateurs that could have probably been on Olympia stage. That's how good the competition is getting. So you guys have to figure out how to brand yourself to make yourself stand out when it comes to standing next to all the amazing physiques that are standing next to you. And for those of you that are interested in making a career out of it, understanding how to monetize the fitness industry, is becoming Mr. or Mrs. Olympia going to make you a millionaire? No. I'm Mr. Olympia in physique. Millions of dollars did not come from that. Okay, so it's about learning how to make your money around our platform on stage. And that's through the use of social media and branding yourself. And that's a lot of things that I've taken a lot of pride in, is understanding of how to tap into that market and really figuring it out, because when I started out my career, it was just the beginning of the social media era. And I'm only 27 years old, I'll be 28 now, but I've been doing this since I was 17 years old. And social media really came about when I was probably 21 or 22 is when Instagram started hitting. But nowadays, in order to get those sponsorships and to start monetizing your fitness, is you gotta start branding yourself and creating some sort of following. And that's how you create value for yourselves to these companies. A lot of people always message me saying, Jeremy, how do I get sponsored? Well, it starts with the social media following. It doesn't matter how you do on stage, it's a matter of the audience that you have that's watching you. Because those are gonna be your customer bases, and that's what companies are looking for. They're not looking for just an athlete, they're looking to figure out how can they benefit from that athlete. It's gotta be a give-give. This is Chad Nuge. He is my best friend, my manager, and the CEO of HERAxHERO. And this is Sandra Fricker. She's also my business partner and designer of the clothing of HERAxHERO. These guys have absolutely killed it in the social media game. Sandra's got damn near 4 million followers on social media right now. She's formerly from Amsterdam, or Netherlands? Amsterdam? Somewhere over there.
The amount of views you can get on social media for less than what it should cost right now is super, super undervalued, and it will go up. So now is the time to market and find your niche, and it's starting with organically what the people that you grew up around and that follow you like to see. Whatever they like to see, they start to share, they engage with, and it grows from there. There's too many trying to copy or go their own route. When when you try and follow someone else's route, you lose organic engagement. And when you lose organic engagement, the growth is very hard to capitalize on. So that's really all I have to say. It's very, very important. Find your niche, find what the people that follow you like, find your passion, something that you like to post, you like to talk about. Because if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to post it, and you're not going to stay consistent with it.
And Sheena is definitely that woman in this division. She is somebody that's very, very accountable to herself and accountable to the people around her. And she's very attentive and understands what it takes to get to the top. Because this sport is freaking hard, you guys. This is the most difficult sport you can possibly do. I've played sports all my life. No sport requires as much dedication as this one does. From the time you wake up to the time you fall asleep, year-round, it's a full-time job with temptation all around us. Unlike another sport where you go practice for 2 hours, then you'll get your food, chill on the couch, play video game, whatever girls do. I don't know what you girls do. But you know, if you can handle a prep, there's not pretty much anything you can handle in life, because nothing's going to throw temptation at you more than bodybuilding. You drive down the street, you got burgers, Taco Bell, everything. Everything looks delicious. So it's a matter of being able to say no to those things, and that's going to build you up as a person, 100%.
You are never going to look the best that you could look if you're eating crap food. And you know, you see some people out there that, you know, they claim to be able to do it all with if it fits your macros. And I would challenge them and I would say, okay, if you ate real food, you would look better. So yeah, they might be able to do it with macros, but they would look a better version of themselves if they were eating clean food. So, you know, making sure that you're eating the right things, that you're not starving yourself. And I mean, when it comes to prep, sometimes you'll be not training hard enough, you know, not lifting, or maybe you're doing too much cardio or not enough cardio, and having that close contact with us, with me as your coach, is going to allow me to make sure that we're always doing the right things. And when we're in the gym, that allows me to actually make little changes to the way you're performing exercises. You know, some of my girls were in today, we had an arm workout, and it's just little things. You know, I can just slightly change the angle that they're performing this tricep exercise at, and they're failing within 2 reps because it's so much harder than the way they were doing it. And so having that close contact with us, with the coaches in the gym, is going to make sure that you are training for quality. You know, it's always about quality over quantity with all of this stuff. You know, you can go and train out there for 5 hours, and I could probably put you through a better workout in 45 minutes. It's not about how long you spend in the gym. It's not about how heavy the weight is. If your technique is crap, it doesn't matter what you are lifting. You know, so all of that stuff is really important. Making sure that it's always about quality. And in terms of your peak week, you've got to be a real perfectionist at all of what you do. You know, if I'm telling you do X, Y, and Z, I don't want you to do X, Y, and Z and then do A, B, C as well and not tell me about that. Because if you're not doing exactly, you know, what's in the plan or what I'm telling you to do, I can't, you know, truly analyze the way your body's responding and make the right changes. You know, so that's one thing that is really important, is that you feel confident and you trust me as a coach, that you can open up to me about whatever is happening. You know, let's say you have a crap day, you fall off the wagon with your diet, you've got to be able to be like, hey, Sheena, had a shit day, ate a burger and a donut, and what do I do now? And I'm going to say, okay, cool, don't worry about it, we're good, let's do this. But if you say, if you don't tell me anything and you send your check-in and I'm like, I would have expected a different result this week, because I don't know what's really going on. Okay, so that's something that's...
We have strategies, basically.
Yeah.
Everything that we're doing, there's a certain strategy. We're setting you up for something. So if we're giving you a certain diet during peak week, it's for a very specific reason. Whether we're trying to deplete you down or we're trying to fill you up, all these things have certain steps. So if you get a diet a certain day and you don't follow that, it's going to mess up our setup for the next day.
We want to talk through off season and we want to talk through prep. And one of the reasons why this is so important to talk about is because it is all so important, and that's why we want you guys, our athletes, we want to work with you year round. You know, I have clients come to me and they want to do a 12-week prep for a show, and what you have to understand is that you don't build your physique in 12 weeks. You can get lean in 12 weeks, great, so you can get into stage condition, but if you want to truly reach your potential and truly build an incredible physique, that happens every single day of the year. It doesn't just happen throughout a 12-week prep. So when we are building this team, what we want to do is we want to have you guys with us the entire year. We want to work with you all the time, because if we don't get that off-season time with you where we can actually have you, you know, able to eat more and do less cardio so that you can build muscle and you can actually create a physique, you're never going to advance as much as you can, or, you know, look as good as you can once you get to the stage. The more time we have with you before you do a show, the better. Yeah? So when it comes to off season, I actually prefer to call it improvement season, because for me this is a lifestyle. I'm never off. I'm never like going out eating junk food every day and not training. That's just, it's not me. Now, I'm not saying that that's the way you have to do it. If you're competing as a hobby, it may not be this huge part of your life, but for me it's my career as an athlete, but it's also my job. You know, I work as a coach and I want to be a role model for you guys to look up to, you know. So it is really important in that improvement season time that we work hard to build muscle in the right places that you need it, you know, to work on completing your physique, and we do that by allowing you to eat more. So after a show, what we want to do is we want to gradually build your calories up so that you're eating essentially as much as you can eat without gaining unnecessary weight. And what that's going to do when we are able to feed you more and have you doing less cardio is essentially what we're doing is we're building up this metabolic capacity that gives us then a lot more room when we go into prep to not have to diet as hard and not have to do as much cardio. But if you don't do that improvement season right, that's when you're going to end up having to do a ton of cardio or having to eat hardly anything to get to where you need to get to for the stage. And that is why we want to do this the best way we possibly can for every one of you by working with you the entire year round. So it's always the approach of, you know, we like to have you doing some cardio all the time. It's going to keep you fit. It's going to keep your metabolism going. What we want to do is have you eating basically as much food as we can get you to eat before you're going to gain a lot of weight. And that's going to give us that room to move when it comes to gradually adding in cardio and gradually decreasing your calories. Okay, so every single person is different, and I've coached girls that have got crazy fast metabolisms and they can get shredded for a show by doing 10 minutes cardio after the workout every day. I'm incredibly jealous of those people. I am not one of them. You know, other girls, you may have to work harder, and if you're coming to us from working with another coach that hasn't prioritized that important aspect of prep, it might be harder, and we have to spend some time working together to build up your metabolism and to get you to that point. But we want to make sure that as soon as you join our team, we're focused on all year round. What we are doing is to get you in the best possible position so that, you know, we can do a prep and we're not going to have you doing a ton of cardio and starving yourself. Yeah? So improvement season is very important. It is the only time that you're going to make true structural changes to your body. You know, you see athletes that have been competing for years and years. You see Jeremy get on stage at the Olympia every year, and every year there are improvements because he's spent that time to just have this one aspect of his physique that he needs to just fill this out a little more, gain a little more muscle in this place, and that's how you really evolve from show to show. And just like with social media growth being important, it is really important that you can show that you're always progressing as an athlete. So you're always improving, you know, from show to show, you're always improving, and you're showing the judges that you are out there working hard all year round to keep making those improvements. And that's always going to be something that, you know, if the judges recognize you and they're like, wow, she looks so much better than last time, that's the kind of thing that's going to get rewarded, you know? Whereas if you're...
They appreciate that a lot when they see changes, especially if you get feedback from judges and they come back and they see that you made the change they told you to make, you're like, that's a big points right there for you.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, on the flip side of that is someone who gets on stage and let's say they don't do that well and they're like, oh well, I don't care, and they get back on stage looking exactly the same the next time. You know, if you're not evolving, you're not going to get further than where you are right now. So that is really super important. Is that all in terms of off-season?
Yeah, you know, your training is going to be very important in the off-season as well. Making sure you're staying consistent with your lifting, and also understanding during your off-season, you know, the calorie surplus is going to be important. So we have to make sure that your diet is being regulated, because if you're in a calorie surplus for too long, you know, your body can eventually it can slip out of control without you even noticing it. You get unnecessary body fat that you don't need. So that's why it's important year-round check-ins with your coach to make sure that your off-season is progressing the way it needs to be. The way we diet around here is we do implement refeed days on a regular basis. If your body needs it, we give you your metabolism the boost that it needs. We're not going to crash diet you guys for weeks on end. You know, refeeds are very important. We definitely believe in cheat meals up into a certain point in prep. You know, we do diet hard. We aren't a macro team. You know, we do count our macros, but we do clean eating. Contest prep is clean eating. Even in off season, we like clean eating. There's no better fuel or energy or better nutrients for your body than clean food. You're not going to have the same results trying to fit macros and you're just trying to cram junk food into your diet. There's no room for that when you're trying to compete at the highest level. That's why we incorporate the cheat meals and the refeed days, which is going to give you guys kind of a reward at the end of the week of sticking to your diet to that certain point. It's going to keep you guys accountable and kind of keep your mind in the game of understanding that you have certain things certain goals you got to hit each and every single day, and you have to stay accountable to yourself.
Personally, for me, what I like to do is I like to have you guys ready early. You never want to be, you know, coming into a show being like, shit, am I going to be ready? Am I going to be lean enough? So it's really important that you are smart about the way you do things. You give yourself enough time, and the thing that is so great about this team is that if you guys are coming in here and training, I'm going to see you in person often, and I'm going to see the way your physique is changing, and that's going to be a huge benefit to you guys. You know, whereas my girls in New Zealand, I can't see them every week to correct their form and to really check on them. So that's the thing about this team that's going to allow all of you guys to get to the next level so quickly. You know, you're going to have that really close contact with us as coaches, and if you can't make it to training, you will also be checking in every week, and you'll be able to contact, you know, your coach. You'll be able to contact me whenever you need to throughout your prep to make sure that it's making incremental changes all the time that's going to get you to your goals. You know, I've been familiar with other coaches who will check in like every fortnight or once a month. It's not often enough. You know, your body's going to change quickly, and we're going to need to keep on top of it so that we're not having to do anything drastic. We are making small incremental changes all the time. So it might be that I start you off by, you're on your improvement season calories, and we just add in 10 minutes cardio after your workout each day. 10 minutes, 6 days a week, that's going to add up, and we're going to see how does your body respond to that, and then we're going to make slight adjustments. So if you've done that improvement season properly, you should have a good base of calories to work with, where you can just change small things like slightly decreasing carbs or adding in a little cardio, and you're going to get bigger results. You know, if you haven't done that improvement season properly and you're already doing a lot of cardio or you're already not eating that much, that's when you get stuck, and that's when things can get unhealthy, and what happens is your metabolism is going to suffer if you end up having to starve yourself to get to the stage. So again, that's why we want to have you guys year round so that we don't have that happening.
She did her first show 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago today, her very first competition. And I tell you what, when she walked in the gym in January, she did not look like this at all. She had great structure, she was a CrossFitter, and she was definitely a great athlete, but she didn't have the structure, the postural structure she needed. So there's a lot of things that I had to implement with her and change about her physique by doing a lot of therapy work, teaching her the importance of getting tissue work and rehabbing her body so she can build muscle the correct way. Out to Pittsburgh with her and 4 of our other athletes to Master Nationals, and we're going to be with them the whole week out there. Meal by meal, checking in every 2 hours, and guiding them each and every single way. I think your Coach Horacio, Coach David, who are have been working with me for several years. They actually prepped me for Olympia. David has been working with me as my assistant coach for my athletes for the past 4 years. So we do work together as a team. So you guys come for training, you have a staff of coaches helping you and assisting you. So Carrie, what were your experiences working with Coach David as your diet coach, and Coach HERAxHERO as your training coach?
David always kept me on point. He kept me accountable and he kept me consistent, and his nutrition plans were, they got me super shredded. Like I was ready 3 to 3.5 weeks out. I was ready and just had to hold my physique for the show. So, so I came in ready early and...
How many carbs were you eating going into your second week going out?
Second week from the show?
Yeah.
About 150 grams a day.
She's 110 pounds, guys.
Yeah.
110 pounds, eating 150 grams of carbs,
they don't,
2 weeks out from the show.
Yeah, they don't strip you of all your food.